Welcome to the probability video. Can you guess the 4 common words used in probability? Alright, here they are. Certain, likely, unlikely, and impossible. If you got them all, thumbs up. And if you didn't, thumbs up to you for following along. Now you know them. How do we use these words? I'll give some examples and you'll decide which of the 4 words will be the most accurate response. Let me let you in on a secret. I have green teeth. Out of the 4 words above, which will be your response to me? Impossible. Thanks for that response. Except I'm an alien, which I'm obviously not. I can't have. It's actually impossible for me to have green teeth. To the second example, I may have pizza for dinner. Before you give me your response, you need to know that I love pizza and will eat it whenever I can. So with this knowledge, which of the 4 probability words will be your response if I was expecting one? Likely, because I love to eat pizza and would likely have it for dinner if I can make it or buy it. Example 3. Will I take bread and tea for breakfast? Now I need you to know that I don't usually take breakfast except I wake up hungry, which is rare. So with this in mind, will I take bread and tea for breakfast? Unlikely, because I usually don't take breakfast. And to the last example, I can spell my name. Well, you know, I'm not a preschooler who may be struggling to spell her name right. So, of course, it's certain that I can spell my name. Let's take these words a little further. I have here 4 different spinners with this question. What is the probability that the spinner will land on red? Before we answer this question, let's define what a probability is and what an outcome is. A probability is the mathematical way of describing how likely it is that something will happen. And in this case, how likely it is that the spinner will land on red. An outcome, on the other hand, is the possible result of a probability experiment. In the first spinner, the outcome of the possible colors that a spinner can land on is red. Red is the only available color. So what's the probability of the spinner landing on red? It's certain because that's the only available color. In the second spinner, we have 2 outcomes. The spinner can land on red or green. Those are the outcomes. What's the probability of the spinner landing on red? It's likely because we have more red sections than green sections. For the third spinner, can you guess the outcome? Yes, you got that right. Green or red. Now, is it certain, likely, unlikely, or impossible that a spinner will land on red? It's unlikely. Why? Because we have 3 green sections and just 1 red section on the spinner. More green, less red, which makes landing on red unlikely. Can you tell the outcome of the last spinner? Green, green, green. Not my green teeth, please. Okay, so what's the probability of the spinner landing on red in this experiment? Impossible. Why? It's obvious. There's no red for the spinner to land on. Great job you've done here. One more thing to note. When you have spinners or examples like this, where the number of regions of each color is equal, the probability of the arrow landing on each color is equally likely. That's what some people call 50-50. As you can see here, no color has more section than the other. So they're equally likely. The spinner is equally likely to fall on any of the colors here. Now, how can we write probability as a fraction? What is the probability that the spinner will land on red? Writing that probability as a fraction. In that case, probability will be equal to the number of favorable outcome over the number of possible outcome. This means the number of what you desire to have over the number of all that is possible to have. For our experiment, this means the number of red sections over the number of total sections. What you want to have, the red sections, over the number of total sections. So for spinner 1, the number of red sections is 4, and the number of total sections, the total number of sections is also 4. So that's 4 over 4, which is the same thing as 1. That's the probability of the first spinner as a fraction landing on red. For the second spinner, the number of red sections is 3, and the number of the total sections still remains the same, 4. So the probability is 3 over 4. For the third section, let's see if you got that right. The number of red section, 1, and the total number of section remains the same, 4. So the probability of the spinner landing on red is 1 over 4. And for the last section, we don't have any red. For the last spinner, we don't have any red section, right? So that's 0 over 4, the total number of sections. 0 divided by anything is 0. So the probability there will be 0. You see how easy it is to write probability as a fraction, really easy. So why don't you try this on your own? Remember, probability is equal to the number of favorable outcome, what you want, over the number of possible outcomes. And here we are still looking for the probability that the spinner will land on red. Here you have your answers. If you didn't get all right, you can go back to the previous example to understand better. But I'm sure you did get some, if not all, right. And well done for that. All right, here's one more practice for you to try. What is the probability in fraction of picking a B, picking a vowel, picking a T and I, picking a consonant? Remember the formula. Probability as a fraction equals to the number of favorable outcome over the number of possible outcomes. So your possible outcomes here will be all the letters in probability, and your favorable outcome will be the letter you want to pick. All right, let's see if you got it right. Here we go. Probability of picking a B is 2 over 11. Probability of picking a vowel is 4 over 11. Probability of picking a T and I, 3 over 11. And probability of picking a consonant, 7 over 11. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.